I was halfway through a boring safety training seminar at work when my phone buzzed on the table next to me. I shouldn't have checked it, but I did. It lit up with a Facebook notification from Amber, my girlfriend of 2 years. She tagged me in a post. That was weird. Amber never posted about me unless it was a birthday or some overfiltered dinner pic. So I clicked it. There it was, a photo of my sketchbook. My sketchbook. From my office drawer at home, which I always kept locked. She had broken into it. The post had a blurry overhead shot of one of my drawings, a half-finished panel I'd been working on, something raw and personal about depression and loneliness. She captioned it, "Y'all, look what I found in his drawer. Mr. Brooding makes emo comic book stuff about feelings." Her friends were already going off in the comments. Someone call Hot Topic LOL. Girl run before he starts quoting Edgar Allan Poe. Is he okay? My ears started ringing. I don't even remember standing up. I just know I was suddenly pushing the seminar room door open, walking fast down the hall, locking myself in the single-stall bathroom, and sitting on the toilet lid like someone had punched me in the chest. I read the post again, then the comments, then again. It was like every line was a middle finger to everything I kept private. Stuff I'd never even shown my closest friends. Amber knew how personal those drawings were. She used to ask to see them, and I always said no, not yet. Not until I was ready. She didn't care. She wanted laughs, likes, tension. I sat there, staring at my screen, humiliated, exposed. But something switched. Shame faded, and a weird kind of calm settled in. She wanted people to see my work? Fine. I commented under her post. Thanks for the ad. Then I opened Instagram, created a brand new account, uploaded a cropped version of the same sketch she mocked, and captioned it, Panel 1. More coming. My hands were steady. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel embarrassed. I felt focused. She wanted to laugh at my work? Let's see if the internet laughs too. I hit upload, stepped out of the stall, washed my hands like nothing had happened, and walked right back into the seminar. I didn't hear a single word the instructor said. My phone buzzed again within 2 minutes. New follower. Then another. And another. By the time I sat back down at my desk, the account already had 80 followers. No hashtags, no bio, no shoutouts. Just the one panel she tried to humiliate me with. By the end of the training, it was climbing past 300. I posted another panel from the same sequence. Then another. Just back-to-back uploads from my phone. No captions, just the art. Raw, black and white ink. Thick lines, harsh emotion. Stuff I'd drawn at 2 in the morning when I couldn't sleep. By the time I walked out of the office at 5, I had over 2,000 followers and more than 100 DMs. Most of them saying things like, "This hit hard," or, "I didn't know anyone else felt like this." Amber called me on the drive home. "What the hell is this?" Her voice was sharp, panicked. "You're making me look like a monster." I didn't even blink. "You posted it." "I didn't post it so you could." She stopped herself, trying to spin it. "It was a joke. My friends thought it was funny. You're taking it way too far." "I'm just uploading my art," I said flatly. "Thanks again for the ad." She hung up. I pulled into our driveway and saw her pacing in the living room through the front window, arms crossed, phone in hand, mouth moving like she was rehearsing something. As soon as I opened the door, she jumped in. "I didn't mean anything by it, okay? You're taking it out of context." It was supposed to be lighthearted. I didn't answer, just reached into my bag and handed her a printed piece of paper. 14-day notice to vacate. Her name was nowhere on the lease. She looked down at it like I'd slapped her. "You're kicking me out?" Her eyes got wide. "Seriously? Because I posted one thing." I dropped my keys on the kitchen counter. "No, because you broke my trust, mocked something personal, and laughed about it. That's not what someone who loves you does." She went full meltdown mode. "This is insane. You're overreacting. You're just being dramatic." Then came the tears. She dropped onto the couch, face in her hands. "I didn't think it'd blow up like this," she sniffed. "Everyone's messaging me like I'm some abusive monster. I'm losing friends." I didn't care. Not even a little. She reached for me. Can we please just talk about this? You're not even hearing me. I walked past her, straight to the bedroom, and locked the door behind me. That was it. I was done explaining myself. I set my laptop on the bed and opened up my folders. Years of sketchbook scans and scan panels. Full character arcs, side stories, one-off illustrations, all of it. Stuff I'd kept hidden. Not because I was ashamed, but because I didn't think it was good enough. Screw that. I uploaded a 5-panel sequence about isolation and panic attacks. Then one about feeling invisible at family dinners. Then another one, a fictional scene but clearly pulled from a real place inside me, of a character being laughed at for showing emotion. Each one hit harder than the last. Comments poured in. Follows stacked fast. By 10, I was at over 8,000 followers. People were tagging their friends. Artists were reposting my panels in their stories. I didn't respond to anyone, just kept uploading. Let the work speak. Outside the door, I heard Amber crying again. Then silence. Then stomping. Then her voice through the door. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I didn't answer. I was done with guilt trips. By midnight, the account crossed 12,000. That number lit something in me, not pride exactly, but clarity. All those nights I stayed up sketching alone, wondering if it was a waste of time. Turns out people wanted what I had to say. And Amber? She was just the spark. I went to sleep that night with my phone buzzing every few seconds on the nightstand. Didn't even mute it. Day 2. I woke up to 3 dozen new DMs and a half-eaten container of Ben & Jerry's sitting outside my bedroom door. Amber must have left it there like some kind of peace offering. I stepped right over it. One DM caught my eye. It was from her friend Kelsey, the same one who dropped the Run Girl comment under the original post. She wrote, "Hey, can you please take the posts down? Amber's not doing well. People are being mean. You made your point." I stared at that message for a good 30 seconds before hitting screenshot. Then I posted it on my story with one line. Actions meet consequences. The reaction was instant. People messaged things like, "Yes, accountability," and "Keep posting. Your work matters." By lunch, the account was over 25,000. Day 3 started with an email. Subject line, "Graphic novel collaboration?" I thought it was a scam at first, but it wasn't. The woman who sent it was a legit rep, worked with indie comic writers and small publishers. I Googled her, checked her LinkedIn, even found interviews she'd done on YouTube. She wasn't some basement troll looking for free sketches. We got on a call that evening. Her name was Dana. Her voice was calm, professional, no fluff. She said, "There's something in your work I don't see often, rage, yeah, but also restraint. That takes skill." Then she asked if I had more. I laughed. "I've got 200 pages. Send them. All of it." I told her I'd clean up the files and send a Google Drive folder that night. She said she'd check back in a day or two. That was it. No promises, no sugarcoating. Just business. About an hour later, Amber's mom called. I let it go to voicemail first. She called again. The third time I picked up, her voice was clipped. "Hi, I think we need to talk about what's going on." "Go ahead," I said, already regretting answering. "This whole situation, the internet stuff, it's humiliating. Amber made a mistake, but you're dragging it out in public." "I didn't start anything," I said. "She posted my private work. I'm just sharing it now on my terms. She's not eating. She's crying all the time. Do you really want to ruin her life over a Facebook post?" "This isn't revenge," I said, steady and clear. "This is me doing what I should have done a long time ago." She let out a frustrated sigh. "I thought you were better than this." I hung up. Amber came home about 30 minutes later. Mascara already streaked down her cheeks like she prepped herself in the car for maximum sympathy. She didn't even say hi. She dropped her purse on the floor and started in, voice trembling. "I can't sleep. People are harassing me. I've lost 3 friends. And you don't even care." I didn't say anything. She stepped closer. "You're being cruel." I said I was sorry. "What more do you want from me?" I looked her dead in the face. "You posted someone's private art for likes. That's cruel. What I'm doing now, that's honest. She flinched like I'd slapped her, then grabbed her purse and stormed into the guest room, which, funny enough, was my room, since I'd locked the bedroom door the last 2 nights. She slammed the door. I pulled out my sketchbook, scanned 10 more pages, and hit upload. The followers hit 40,000 before I finished brushing my teeth. By day 5, my phone was a war zone. Notifications every 2 seconds. DMs stacked. Mentions from verified accounts. I barely slept, but I didn't care. I was finally in motion. That morning, Dana called again. She didn't waste time. 3 publishers want to talk. One's already sent a formal offer. My heart punched against my ribs. That fast? She chuckled. That's how viral works. You're hot right now, and they don't want to miss it. I walked out of the office and took the call in my car, sitting in the lot with the engine off, window cracked. My palms were sweating. I listened as Dana read the numbers. 2 graphic novels. $40,000 advance. You keep full creative control. They'll handle printing and distribution. Timeline's aggressive. 18 months for both. I didn't need a week to think. I'm in, I said. Good, she replied. Now buckle up. It's about to move fast. I sat there after the call, staring out the windshield like the world looked different. Didn't, but I did. When I got home, Amber was on the couch, scrolling her phone with a half-eaten bag of chips in her lap. She barely looked up. I got a publishing deal, I said. Her eyes jumped up like she'd just heard I won the lottery. What? Are you serious? Oh my God. She jumped up, smiling too hard. We're gonna do amazing things, babe. This is huge. I didn't smile back. You're moving out in 8 days, I reminded her, calm as anything. The change in her was instant. Smile gone. Voice defensive. Wait, what? You're still kicking me out? After everything I've done for you? I found that sketchbook, remember? Yeah, I said. Without permission. She threw her hands up. Unbelievable. You wouldn't even have this deal if it weren't for me. I was your muse. I inspired you. I actually laughed. You were the spark, I said. Not the fuel. She glared at me like I just stabbed her. So I get nothing? You get to not be in my life anymore. She stormed out without another word. About an hour later, she came back, this time dragging her loud friend Brittany behind her, the same one who commented "run" on the post. They didn't even knock, just burst in like they owned the place. You need to talk to a lawyer, Brittany said, arms crossed, voice too loud for my hallway. She has a right to part of this. Intellectual contribution. Amber nodded like they'd rehearsed it. You used my idea to launch your brand. I stared at them, deadpan. You mean the idea where you humiliated me online? They didn't answer. I pointed toward the door. Get out. Now. Brittany scoffed. You think this is over? I know it is, I said and opened the door. They walked out, muttering under their breath. I shut it behind them and bolted it. Then I went straight to my desk, opened my files, and started sketching page 1 of the new book. I wasn't wasting another second. Day 14 came fast. The house was quiet that morning. Too quiet, like it was holding its breath. Amber hadn't packed a single box. Her stuff was still scattered everywhere. Makeup on the bathroom counter, clothes on my chair, half her wardrobe spilling out of the closet like she was daring me to do something. She walked past me with a coffee mug, calm as ever. So, she said, I'm still thinking about what you said. I didn't even look up from my sketchpad. Which part? The moving out part. I don't think it's fair. It's not up for debate. She gave this sarcastic laugh. You think you can just kick me out like I'm trash? You're not on the lease, I said. You were a guest. The guest time's up. That set her off. She slammed the mug in the sink, coffee splashing everywhere. You'll regret this. You'll see who people believe when I tell them how you really are. I didn't rise to it, just picked up my keys and left for work. By day 16, the sheriff showed up. I'd filed eviction papers right after that conversation, and the system moved faster than I expected. The deputy was polite, professional, said it happens more than people think. I signed a few forms, handed over the notice, and watched him tape the official eviction document on the door before he left. Amber was at work when it happened. Perfect timing. I packed up her things. Clothes, makeup, random junk, into boxes, loaded them neatly into her car parked in the driveway. No damage, no drama. Just done. I even left her key on the seat with a sticky note that said, "Take care." She came home around 6. I heard the car door slam hard enough to make the windows shake. Then my phone started buzzing. 30 missed calls in under 10 minutes. I didn't answer any of them. Finally, I texted back, "I'm doing great. Thanks for asking." She didn't reply. By week 3, the first draft of the graphic novel was done. 210 pages of ink, sweat, and late nights. I sent it to Dana and the publisher. They loved it. Said the story had raw energy. I just called it honesty. 2 days later, I got a letter in the mail from some lawyer I'd never heard of. Printed on cheap paper, sloppy formatting. Claimed Amber owned partial rights to the story and deserved compensation for inspiration. It was laughable. I sent a picture of it to Dana, who passed it straight to the publisher's legal team. Their response was brutal. They sent back a 5-page legal reply that basically shredded the claim and warned of counteraction if she tried anything else. It was professional, but reading it felt like a knockout punch. Within days, her lawyer dropped her. Then came the fake Instagram account. Username, truth_about_the_artist. It had maybe 10 followers at first, posting grainy screenshots and made up stories about me being emotionally abusive, manipulative, controlling, all the recycled lies people throw when they're out of ammo. But my followers found it immediately. They tore through every post, debunked every claim, exposed that the photos were old. Within 48 hours, the account went private, then vanished altogether. She couldn't control the narrative anymore, and she hated that. That night, I opened a fresh notebook and started sketching the first panel of book 2. This time, the art didn't come from anger, it came from relief. Clean, solid, final. She'd wanted attention. Now all eyes were on me, and none of them were hers. The day the publisher announced the book, my phone damn near exploded. They posted the cover art with the caption, "Coming this fall, Still Breathing, a graphic novel by debut author at Incan Nerve. Pre-orders open now." Within minutes, I had people tagging me, sharing it to their stories, messaging me things like, "Finally," and "Been waiting for this drop." That night, my ex's brother called. We hadn't spoken since a barbecue 2 years back, when he drank too much and told me he hated the Avengers. Now, suddenly, he was on my screen, calling like we were close. "You ruined her life, man," he said, not even pretending to warm up first. "She's a wreck. You took it too far." I leaned back in my chair. She posted my private art online to get laughs. I just took control of the fallout. "She made a mistake. You're being cold." "No," I said. "I'm being realistic." He started to argue, but I ended the call. I wasn't interested in justifying myself to people who only showed up to defend her when she lost control. That same week, media requests started coming in. Podcasts, blogs, a local radio station. Most of them just wanted the story, the real one, not the viral noise. I agreed to do one podcast. Just one. It was a mid-sized show about indie comics and mental health. They asked good questions. I told the story straight. No names, no petty jabs, just the facts. I explained how personal art got turned into a joke, how I took it back, and how people connected to it. The host asked, "What would you say to someone scared to put their work out?" I didn't even pause. "Fear's gonna sit next to you either way. Might as well make it watch you win." The clip of that line went viral. By morning, people were posting it with sketches, tattoos, journal entries. The hashtag #DrawYourPain started trending. It took on a life of its own. Pre-orders doubled overnight. The publisher messaged me the next day. "We're increasing the print run. You're about to outsell expectations." I didn't even know what to say. I just stared at the message like it might disappear. 2 days later, the ex's mom called again. She opened soft. "I know we didn't get off on the right foot." I said nothing. She cleared her throat. "Amber's been struggling. Really struggling. Therapy's expensive and things are tight right now. I was hoping, maybe with everything going so well for you, you could help. No, I said. You didn't even let me finish. I didn't need to. The answer's no. She got sharper. You owe her something. She's part of the reason this even happened. No, I said again. She's the reason it started. That doesn't make her part of the success. She's your ex, not your enemy, she snapped. You're punishing her. I hung up and blocked her number. This wasn't punishment. This was boundaries. For the first time in years, I wasn't hiding behind silence. I was speaking through my pages, and people were listening. Not because it was gossip, because it was truth. The launch was chaos in the best way. The first book signing packed out in less than an hour. Line wrapped around the building. Teenagers, college kids, even a few older couples who said they don't usually read comics but felt this one. They had copies under their arms, sticky notes marking favorite pages. Some had sketches of mine printed out, asking for signatures. One kid even had a panel tattooed on his forearm, the one where the main character says, "You can't bury pain if it knows how to draw." During the reading, I didn't expect much. I picked a 3-page sequence, raw and direct, about growing up feeling like noise in the background, about stuffing drawings in drawers because I thought nobody cared. Halfway through, I saw a woman in the front row wiping tears. By the end, people clapped. A few stood. After, a guy my age shook my hand and said, "Thanks for making me feel less crazy." A mom came up holding her son's hand, maybe 10 years old, eyes wide and quiet. "He's always drawing," she said. "Got bullied for it. Your book made him feel powerful." The kid didn't say anything, just nodded and gave me a quick fist bump. That moment stuck with me. That night, I got home riding high, exhausted but good. Then I saw the package. Plain brown box, taped sloppily, no return address. Sitting dead center on my welcome mat. I brought it inside, opened it on the counter. Inside was my original sketchbook. The one she'd posted. The one I thought I'd never see again. Tucked inside the front cover was a torn scrap of paper. One line, scribbled in the corner like an afterthought. "Hope your stupid dreams choke you." Classic her. Petty to the end. I didn't even react. No heat, no sting. Just set the note aside and flipped through the pages. They looked different now, not because they changed, but because I had. They weren't embarrassing anymore. They were the beginning. I filed the sketchbook back on my shelf, right between the first draft and the published copy. A week later, the royalties hit. 65 grand, straight to my account. First thing I did? Paid off my student loans. Every last cent. Then I put down a deposit on a condo near the art district. Nothing flashy, just mine. Quiet. Next call was to a financial advisor. Told him flat out, "I don't need to be rich. I just don't want to be scared." He got it. I hung up, looked around my empty apartment, and smiled for the first time in a long while. Not because of revenge, not because of numbers, but because I was free. 2 days after the royalties hit, the text started. Blocked numbers, random area codes. Some short, some long, all of them nasty. "You stole her story. She made you, and now you're acting brand new. You deserve nothing. Hope you die alone." Some were paragraphs. Some were just one line. I didn't respond to any of them. I just screenshotted every single one and dropped them in a folder labeled legal trash. Then I emailed the whole batch to my lawyer with the subject line, "Time to clean house." He didn't waste a second. Within 24 hours, the publisher's legal team sent out a cease and desist to every number tied to a known source. The anonymous stuff? They started tracking those too. One came from Brittany's number, another from Amber's cousin. 2 days after that, silence. No more calls, no more threats, just peace. Week 10 rolled around, and I was finally back in a routine, working, drawing, hitting the gym, living like a normal person again. I was in the produce aisle at the grocery store when I saw her. Kelsey, one of Amber's friends, the same one who DM'd me back when this all blew up, begging me to please take the posts down. She was halfway to the avocados when our eyes locked. Her face turned beet red, and she spun her cart around so fast she nearly clipped a display of cucumbers. I watched her duck into another aisle like a scared raccoon. I didn't say a word, just smiled and kept walking. Felt good. Not in a petty way, just clean. Like I'd finally moved out of the wreckage and left the ghosts behind. Later that week, I heard through a mutual that Kelsey broke up with her boyfriend. Apparently, the whole mess had followed her. People asking if she was one of the hot topic mean girls. Tagging her in posts, dragging her in comment threads. The same crowd that used to laugh with her now acted like they didn't know her. Karma doesn't show up fast, but when it does, it's loud. And the best part? I didn't have to lift a finger. I just kept drawing, kept building, kept doing the exact thing they mocked me for. I wrapped the second graphic novel exactly 3 days before the deadline. 238 pages. Cleaner lines, deeper story, tighter emotion. It was better than the first. Way better. My editor called it devastating in the best way. Dana forwarded the final contract 2 days later. 50,000. Same control, same team. No hesitation this time. I signed it with a smirk on my face and a pen that cost more than my first car. After that, I started doing college visits. Some big schools, some tiny ones. Packed lecture halls full of students half listening until I put a panel up on the screen and told the story behind it. Then they locked in. Asked questions. Good ones. How do you draw grief? Did you ever want to quit? What would you tell your past self? I told one kid, quitting's easy. But if it still haunts you 6 months later, you're not done with it. He wrote it down like I handed him the gospel. One night, after a Q&A in Portland, a teenager hung back while everyone else left. Looked about 17. Hoodie, shaking hands. He came up, voice barely above a whisper. I read your book after my dad died. It helped me get through it. That one stuck in my throat. I shook his hand and didn't say much, because there's nothing to say. You just feel it and carry it with you. A week later, a mom grabbed me outside another campus. Her son clung to her leg like he didn't want to be there. He used to hide his drawings. Kids teased him. But after reading your stuff, he draws every day. Thank you for showing him it's not weird. I crouched down and told the kid, keep drawing. It'll take you places nobody else can go. His eyes lit up. The travel, the signings, the talks. It was exhausting in a way that felt earned. I was finally moving forward. And then one night at an arts nonprofit event in Tacoma, I met her. Claire. She was quiet, steady. Wore jeans and a sweater, no fake voice, no agenda. She was an art teacher at a local high school, and she loved comics. Like actually loved them, not just said it to impress me. We talked for over an hour. About layouts, panel transitions, early McFarlane stuff. We swapped info, and the next weekend we grabbed coffee. No pressure. No games. We saw each other a few times after that, movies, bookstores, a flea market. It wasn't some fairy tale whirlwind. Just good, normal, and real. Her support didn't come in big declarations. Came in steady questions, long listening, no judgment. Felt like breathing again. Then one night I checked my email before bed. Right at the top. From Amber. Subject line, please stop succeeding. I opened it. One line. It's killing me. No apology. No growth. Just the same tired poison. I stared at it for half a second. No anger. No need to reply. I deleted it. She still didn't get it. This wasn't about her anymore. Never really was. Book 1 sold 45,000 copies. When I got the report, I didn't jump or scream or do a victory lap. I just sat at my desk, opened my notebook, and started drawing the next page. Because now I knew people were watching, not judging, listening. Between both books, royalties crossed 160. Most people would have quit their day job right there. I didn't. I kept my engineering gig, but I gave myself a deadline, 6 months. That's it. Then I'm done clocking in for other people. The condo was officially mine. 2-bed, top floor, quiet street, walking distance to coffee and calm. No one rolled their eyes at my sketchbooks on the table. No one joked about my comic book therapy. Just space to work, space to breathe. I adopted a cat from a rescue 3 blocks over. Black and white, lopsided face, attitude like a bouncer. Named him Marker. He followed me from room to room, sat on my desk while I worked like he was critiquing layouts. One morning, I got an email from Professor Logan, the one who used to read my comics during office hours when no one else cared. Subject line, "Proud of you." The body said, "Told you your work mattered." I sat with that a second, then replied, "Thanks for believing before I did." I didn't cry, but I smiled in that slow, quiet way that sticks with you longer than shouting ever could. So here it is, to the writers who doubt themselves, the ones hiding their stories in drawers, sketching pain into notebooks while the world laughs. Don't let fear stop you. Don't let people stop you. And to her, enjoy the silence. Me, I've got stories to tell. And now, I've got people ready to read them.